9-1 head coach of the Eagles, Nick Sirianni. Good morning, Nick.
Hey, good morning, guys. Hey, tomfooleries in Delaware. Be there. Be there.
You know it.
Come on, big-time pep rally.
I love it. I love it, Nick. All right, so, Nick, I also love what you guys are doing. Congratulations on it. It's an amazing achievement. You know, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in football, and I'm just curious, all your years, have you ever seen anything like this? All these comebacks against great or really good teams. Do you think you've ever seen anything like this?
You know, you obviously go through – I've been playing football since I've been 8 years old, playing or coaching football. So, man, I don't know if I can remember a victory quite as sweet as the one we had yesterday. Obviously, have a lot of things to clean up – 2 days ago. Obviously, have a lot of things to clean up, but I'm not sure I've ever won – I've been a part of a game that we've won in walk-off touchdown fashion. I just don't recall one that I've ever been a part of, and so that was pretty sweet, and I'll remember that for a very long time. That memory will stay with me forever.
Nick, why is it so hard for the offense to get into a rhythm in the first half?
You know, I think that's what it's been the last 2 weeks. I don't want to say extremes because we played 11 games. We've been good on the opening drive now for the past couple years now. But these last 2 games, we started off very slow on offense. Some part of that goes to the defense. Part of that goes to us putting them in the right positions, our design of plays, our calling of plays, and some of it's execution. Like that always is going to be the case when it's not going well. It's going to be a little bit of execution, a little bit of coaching, a little bit of the style of defense that we're playing. We definitely need to start faster than we have the last 2 games. And we'll work like crazy to make sure that's happening with our opening plays and our starters. I think it was really a product of the last 2 weeks. But the last 2 weeks we played really good teams. We need to start fast against good teams, and we got a good team coming in here this weekend as well. We'll
be talking a lot about that game, Eagles and Niners, in short order here with Nick. Nick, I want to play some audio for you. Something Jalen said after the game we were really struck by on Sunday night. And I want to frame this under the umbrella of the question, is Jalen happy? Now, I know that might sound weird, but we were all so thrilled with the victory. Listen to Jalen after the game, Nick, and then I'll ask you the question more specifically.
I shake my head and kind of don't know. I shake my head and I don't really know how to feel sometimes because I just want to play to the standard at all times, and I just want to, lead and play to the standard at all times. And, that's why it's kind of like, it's weird for me.
Nick, we felt sad for him when we heard that because he strikes me like the guy in school that gets a 98 and he's mad he doesn't get 100. And it's like, man, enjoy the 98. Like, do you worry about whether he's enjoying the season enough? Do you consider talking to him? John even brought up yesterday, could there be a burnout factor at some point with this level of extreme intensity and focus? Do you worry about that?
I don't. You obviously see a certain side of Jalen, that, and then we see a certain side of him as well. Obviously, you know what he says a lot of the times too. It's like, let the main thing be the main thing, and when he's saying that too is like winning is what is driving us. And what's letting him have fun? Is he satisfied with the way he played? He's going to always want plays back, and I think that's what makes Jalen really, really good is that he strives for perfection, and that when he doesn't get that, he's not satisfied. I think there's a difference between being not satisfied and not being happy, because when he breaks down that team and and he's laughing with his teammates after the game, and we're hugging him after the game, because we won. I think that's again. I think there's a major difference there again of not being satisfied, which all of us, and I think that's the culture that we want here. Is a sense of our culture is we want to have extreme fun when we're here, but you can and have great relationships, and you can do that while still being highly demanding. And so those all go in one. I think you're just getting a piece of it from his interview that he isn't satisfied with the way he played at portions of that game. But extremely happy that we won, and I think that his teammates, myself, we see that. I appreciate the way he is, and in that sense, because when one of your best leaders is holding himself accountable and continuing to want to get better, every guy's going to want to do that as well. And because we still have growth to do this season to get where we want to go to, and so we have to get better. And I love his growth mindset. I love his desire to win, and you'll have to ask him exactly how he's feeling. But I know that he, winning is fun for him, and I know, sometimes you all don't get to see, him with his teammates celebrating after a win.
Nick Sirianni here with us. By the way, also with us, the snow. Let it snow. I mean, if you're driving to work right now, greetings.
Swell.
Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
Finally.
It is snowing out there. And how about it in November? All right, Nick, let's get to the Eagles.
You don't get quite as, let me say this, guys, you don't get quite as excited about snow when you're myself when you grew up in Buffalo, New York, and it snowed all the time. Like you get I thought I got out of this thing. But, you know what? Let it snow. We live here now. So
there we
great.
go. We're all a kid at heart. So by the way, Chelsea, we all get to go home now? School's out?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's how it works.
All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. All right.
Thanks, Nick. We'll talk to you later.
Nick, let's get to this, Eagles-Niners thing. Juicy, real juicy. Let's start with this, Nick. Are you aware of the fact that your team is an underdog, officially an underdog on Sunday? Do you know that?
You know what? I did. Bob let me know that, and good. We like being an underdog. I think the first thing I ever knew about this city when I was a little kid was Rocky. That's all. He's always the underdog. We like being the underdog. No one thought much of us going into last season, and we played the underdog role well, and here we are, and good. We'd like to be the underdog again.
Will you use this as motivation with your team? Messaging this week. Guys, this is what they think of us. Do you use that in your messaging?
Like who's they in this sense, right? To me, it's like
it's the nation.
We don't pay much.
It's the nation.
Yeah, we don't pay much attention to that. Like we pay attention to ourselves. We pay attention to getting better. The best motivation you can have is not wanting to let your teammates down. I don't think there's a better motivation than that. And so we'll work hard for that. I am aware, again, because I obviously do media a lot, that I have to be aware of that. And I welcome that. Again, like I say with everything, if we can use this, if you guys want to use this as motivation, use it. If it's a distraction, don't use it, right? And so that's we say that all the time because there's so many different things that can get you up and for a game and this and that. We got to make sure we're up for every single game. And so if this adds some extra motivation to some of our guys, fantastic. If not, if it's a distraction, block it out. And I think our guys do a good job of that because and really how you do that when you're in here and you're working, you're paying attention to getting better every single day in the ways we do that.
Nick, how much, if at all, do you have to hold back play calling wise offensively on Sunday, knowing that you could very possibly play San Francisco again in the NFC Championship game?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. But I do think not at all. Like our job is to win this game. And then we have time to, think about how we can mesh those if it does come to a point where we play them again. Because that's an if. We don't know how that's going to play out. And so we got to win this game, and that's going to be our mindset each and every week. And after that, then we can think about, like we do after every game, hey, what will we do next time? What can we do better next time? Like we'll go through this as a coaching staff. How can we mesh plays from this week to the next time we play them, right? What did they do differently that we weren't anticipating coming in? And so, we feel good with our process there and we won't hold anything back because, the biggest game on our schedule is our next game. This is our next game. This is against a big-time opponent. Got a lot of respect for this opponent, and we're going to have to do everything we got to do to win this game this week.
How much do you expect that the 95 snaps for your defense will linger into this game, Nick?
Yeah, that's my job to make sure that they're rested, right? And so we'll do different things this week. Again, we have phenomenal doctors, and we have phenomenal trainers, strength staff, nutritionists, massage therapists. Like, you name it, we got it to get these guys ready to go. And that's what I appreciate about Mr. Laurie, that he is willing to do anything he can to help us win. And just everything we've ever asked for, he allows us to do, and that I really appreciate that. And so we'll have a plan. We have a plan for all these guys, and to make sure that they're rested. And part of that too is how we practice, right? And so we'll probably pull back a little bit tomorrow because that was a lot. And I don't. Again, I'll look at some stuff today to really think about exactly what we're going to do, but we'll probably pull back tomorrow, see how we feel Thursday, play it by ear there. Like, to go into each week and say we're doing this exact thing every week, that's just not smart. That would be like going into with the same game plan every week. You don't do that. And so we'll look at everything. We always do, and we have the right people in this building. Again, I love this game so much because it's such a team game. And it's not just about the guys that are on the field and the coaches that are on the field. It's everybody else that I just mentioned coming up with the right plan, right? And ultimately, I have to make that decision, right? They have to give me the information. I have to make that decision, what's good for everybody, but coming up with the right plan. But that's what's so awesome about this game. It's the most ultimate team game there is, and it takes everybody and everybody's contribution.
Nick, any early sense here on Lane, Fletcher, and Dallas Goedert and their status for Sunday?
Obviously, all three of those guys are phenomenal players, phenomenal leaders. We're hopeful. I haven't seen them yet. We haven't been out in the field yet. I did give them one part of making sure they were rested for this upcoming Sunday, was giving them off yesterday. So and then they're off again today. So they need that time. They need that rest. And so I have not seen them yet, and we haven't been on the field yet. So that would be too premature for me to evaluate that quite yet. But I know we need them, and I know how good of players they are, and I do know this, that they'll do everything they can do to make sure they're ready for this game. Because of, and I know that based off their past history and who they are and how much they want to be on that field competing for their team, with their teammates, for this city and for this team.
Nick, final thing here. This rivalry element with San Fran, which has really kicked up in the last 12 months. I'm curious your reaction to all the talk that they put out there in the world January, February, and March last year. It was clear that it irritated some of your players. With all that they talked after they rightfully lost to you guys, fair and square, did it irritate you that they talked so much smack after that loss by them?
We're focusing on this, because there's so many different elements, right, of the 2023 Eagles and the 2023 San Francisco team, right? There's so many. One of our best players from last year plays for them now, right? And so, there's so many different pieces of that. We don't want to get let's focus on this team in 2023 versus their team in 2023, and because there's definitely things that happen after games that that you hear, that you talk about, but this is a different group of guys. They're a different group of guys. We're just looking forward to a really good game against a really good opponent again here, and no place I'd rather play than here in front of our fans in Philadelphia.
Nick, good luck on Sunday. This is an extra big one for the fans, right? Do you feel that?
Yeah, I definitely feel that, and you know what? That's awesome because I know how rowdy it's going to be in there on Sunday because that's just who our fans are. They're the same every week. They come out ready to roll. And they make it really difficult for opponents to come in here. So I want it to mean extra to everybody in this city.
Nick, good luck on Sunday. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks, Nick.